Hey Stampers, Susan. I have our Carried Me Away, Lift Me Up bundle card to go for the month of June here. We're going to do some heat embossing, we're going to do some sponging of ink onto glossy paper, and this card was inspired by Kylie Bertucci. She is a demonstrator in Australia who I've started to follow as a creator, and so this was cased from her. It's a little different from what hers is, but it's very similar. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to heat emboss while we are doing the video, so you might want to just find your mute button so you don't have to listen to the very loud gun for that. But that'll be up to you. So we're starting with our glossy white. Now, we're going to stamp in Versamark the balloons. And I'm going to try to get an odd number on here, so I'm going to shoot for 7. So let's see how I can do. So I've got 1. And remember, glossy paper is a little slippery, so when you put it down it might wiggle a little, so be careful. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going up on a diagonal. 4, I'm going to drop another little tail in here. 5, I'm going back to my big one. 6, and then I'm going to put another one down here in the corner. 7. Okay, so now we're going to take that and dust it with our, I'm using white, it's white paper, so you could always use clear. It would look a little different when you're done, but not much different. Or silver, you could use silver emboss, that would be cool, I think. Make it shiny. Even if you had the, it's retired, but you might have the one that's got the sparkle in it. It's escaping me right now as to what we call it, but okay, so that's all that. Now here's where I'm going to heat emboss, so if you want to mute me, I will not be offended. Okay, I'm back. So you want to remember when you do your heat emboss, you want to make sure that it all turns shiny and you don't have any powder left. And if you just put it under your bright light, you can usually see that it's done. Okay, so now I'm going to take a sponge section from my sponge, and I'm going to take my Marina Mist ink, which is the color of my card base. So, and we're just going to swirl on some sky. Now, being glossy paper, it's going to spread a little differently. I wanted that effect of kind of an airy sky look without trying to do all the clouds like a lot of people try to do. So, I used the glossy paper for that. So, just going to swirl some ink on here. And really, glossy paper is kind of forgiving. If you dab it on, then you can move it around before it dries. And remember, because we heat embossed, the ink is going to resist over the embossed section. So even though we're putting ink on top of our white embossed images, we're going to be able to rub that ink off and be left with nice clean white balloons. So it's going to pop. A little more ink. I find that it dries pretty quickly. You do get messy fingers from the sponge, so remember to wash your hands before you work on the next project. But for the most part, it goes on and dries pretty well. Okay, so it's all inked up. Now I'm just going to take regular tissue and gently go over those balloons and just buff off any extra ink that might be sitting on top of there so it doesn't spread anywhere else on my project. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp my words down here. So I'm making this one into a graduation card. So I'm going to use the words, "You soar above the rest, congratulations." And I am stamping this in my Memento black. So I tried my archival black on a sample and it smeared a bit, so I didn't want to use that one. I've always told you in the past to use Stays On, so Stays On would work as well. But I'm going to try it with the Memento black and see how it goes. So I'm inking that up, and I'm going to try stamp sideways because I'm kind of sitting sideways at the table. I'm try to line this up with my grid lines. Stamp that. Good, I like that. So we have the main point of our card. I'm just going to let that dry for a minute. So this is a little bit different layout. She pushed everything up into the corner, so it's kind of got this border on the side. It's different. If you want to center it, just trim your pieces down to be centered on your card. That's fine too. Remember, just because I make the kit doesn't mean you can't change it. So I'm going to mount my basic black to my Marina Mist. Right up in the corner. Now I'm going to flip this over. And then I'm going to mount that right up in the corner of my black. Make sure your edge coming down the side is lined up, and after you tack that down, you go ahead and flip it over and give it a good press. Make sure that all adheres. And there you go. Now for the envelope, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to heat emboss on screen again, but I just did a white heat embossed balloon on my envelope, so hope you can see that in the picture, but I just kept it simple. So, and then the inside, I left it blank because I figured, depending on what you want to use it for, obviously, I'm using this for graduation, so I'm going to find a graduation stamp to put on the inside. So, I hope you enjoyed the second card in our bundles to go. I'll have another one next month, obviously. And until then, happy stamping. Enjoy your kit.